Okay, this is an example of how to solve a multi-step equation. This example comes from 091, and this is section 2.6, one of the homework problems there. As you can see, we have kind of a funky looking problem in that I have a denominator here of 3 and a denominator here of 5. So that's going to kind of complicate things until I can get rid of those. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of them. So basically, I'm allowed to multiply. If I multiply each piece of my equation by a number, then it's still okay, and my equation will still be balanced. So I need to multiply each piece by a number, and I want to pick a number that, when I multiply this fraction by it, whatever this number is going to cause my denominator to cancel. So I can see that 3 and 5 are both going to go into 15 really easily. So I'm going to choose 15, and I can actually even think of this as 15 over 1 if I want to think of it that way. So I'm going to multiply each piece of the equation by 15, or 15 over 1. Okay, so now this piece, I'm going to do each piece separately here. So this piece is going to be 15 over 1 times the quantity of w plus 1 over 3. Now I know because of the commutative property, it says that 1 times 3 is the same as 3 times 1. And I know that I can multiply fractions straight across here. So I'm going to switch the 1 and the 3 so that I can reduce this 15 over 3. So 15 over 3 now becomes 5 over 1, or just 5, which leaves me with 5 times w plus 1. Now I can use the distributive property to get rid of that parentheses. So 5 times w plus 1 becomes 5w plus 5. So that was just this piece up here. Then I can see that 15 times a positive 2 is going to give me 30. So that piece is just going to become positive 30 here. Put a little arrow there. And then this piece over here, I'm going to do a similar thing to what I did on this side. So I have w plus 4, that's the quantity of that, over 5 times 15 over 1. Again, because of the commutative property, I can switch the 5 and the 1 because 5 times 1 is the same as saying 1 times 5. So 15 over 5 reduces down to 3 over 1, or just 3. And now I'm left with 3 times w plus 4. I'm going to do the distributive property there and get 3w plus 12. Okay, so now let me rewrite all the pieces of my original equation. I have 5w plus 5, that came from this part, plus 30, that came from my positive 2, equals 3w plus 12. And now I'm ready to solve this here. I can combine my 5 and my 30 to get 35. So I have 5w plus 35 equals 3w plus 12. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my net so that I can see I have two sides of the equation. And I can see that this 5w and this 3w I need to be combined. So I can choose which side I want to move the w's to. I don't like to deal with negative variables just because I think it's easier to deal with positive. So I'm going to move this 3w over. Again, this is a positive 3w. So to make it equal to 0, I need to do a negative 3w, which is going to cancel. But whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'm going to subtract by 3w. Now I get 2w plus 35 equals 12. I'm going to get rid of this 35, move that to the other side. So I subtract 35, that becomes a 0. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Positive 12 and a negative 35 are going to give me, I'm going to subtract them here, a negative 23. So now I have 2w equals negative 23. I divide by 2. Divide by 2, and I get w equals a negative 23 halves. Could also change this into a decimal if I wanted by dividing. or a negative 11 and a half.